Welcome parents to part 1 of this workshop, High School Requirements, Fall 2020. In our agenda, we will be going through an overview of high school requirements, defining high school credits, looking at courses, and other requirements needed to graduate. There are basic course areas, such as math and English, that all AUHSD students will take within their 4 years. Each course that they will take will be worth 10 credits, and by the end of their 4 years, students should have a minimum total of 220 credits. So each course is 10 credits, that's 5 credits per semester. If a student receives an A or B or a C in a course, both semesters they will receive those 10 credits. However, if they receive a D or an F, they will not receive the full amount of credits. If they fail one semester, they are still missing 5 credits and need to make up that semester before graduation. If they fail both semesters, they need to take the entire class over again. Overall, students need 220 credits, so that's 6 classes per semester for 4 years. It's also important to note that students can still receive 220 credits but still be missing a required course. All students will take English all 4 years, beginning with English 1 or any equivalent class. By the end of their senior year, they should have received 40 credits worth of English. Students will take 3 years, that's 30 credits worth of history, starting their sophomore year. Their sophomore year, they will take a world history course. Their junior year, they will take a United States history course. And their senior year, they will take government for 1 semester and economics the other semester. Together, the government and econ class will count as 10 credits of social science their senior year. Students will also take 3 years of math, which will be worth 30 credits. They will take Math 1 their first year, then Math 2, then Math 3. In addition, students will take the CASI exam their second year, where they will test their math skills. Passing the math portion will allow successful passage towards high school graduation. For science, students will take 2 years, typically in their first and their second year of high school. As freshmen, they will take a life science, and as sophomores, they will take a physical science, like chemistry or physics. Students will take 10 credits, so that's 1 year, of a fine arts or a world language course. A visual arts course will typically be art, photography, draw and paint, etc. A performing arts course will be dance, theater, or music. Or they can take a world language. Most AUHSD schools will have Spanish courses of different levels for students. Schools will offer other languages, but it does depend on the school itself. Not all schools will offer Japanese, Arabic, or French, so you can check the high school catalog courses if you want to be sure. There are 2 important things to note about language courses. First, it has to be the same language both semesters. The student cannot take Spanish 1 semester and French the second semester. They will need to take Spanish both semesters or French both semesters. The second thing is that students can take a year of a language in junior high, and that will count towards the high school graduation requirement. Health is only taken 1 semester, so it's only worth 5 credits. Many counselors will suggest taking health over the summer or online. That way students can take an elective the full year instead of half the year. Health is the basic information on our mental health, physical health, and reproduction system. Students will take a year of a career education course. There are two ways to achieve this requirement. The first is through a career technical education or CTE pathway. Those courses teach specific skills along the lines of science, technology, arts, or finance. The second way are career-related courses like ROP, ASB, yearbook, the IB program, or work experience. For career education, it will also depend on the certain high school the student attends. Not all schools will have the same course listing, and this will be something you and your student should look at together to see what is fitting for them. All students must take PE in their 9th and 10th grade years, but students can take another alternative course such as athletics, JROTC, and marching band. There are other requirements towards graduation. If the student takes all required courses, they still need to take 55 credits, so that's 5.5 courses of electives. This can be fulfilled in various ways. Instead of taking just 1 year of a foreign language, they can take it all 4 years. Same with athletics, or math, or science. It depends on the student and on what their interests are. A more recent addition to graduation requirements is the 40 years of civic and service learning. Students will learn to do community service hours, which can be done by helping at the local library or their teachers after school. This can also be done if they are in any clubs that will provide community service events. Another requirement is to take a digital literacy course, which will teach them computer skills. The second part of today's workshop will be looking over A through G requirements. In our overview, we will look at what are A through Gs and the overview of A through G subject requirements. What are the A through Gs? They're the minimum requirements for students to meet to be considered for admissions to the CSU and the UC system. A through G courses need to be completed with a C or better. 11 out of 15 A through G courses will need to be completed by the start of their senior year. A through G requirements are different from high school graduation requirements, and we will be looking at that in the next few slides. The requirements for A through G are very similar to high school graduation requirements, but there are slight differences that are important to note when filling out classes. In this slide, we'll be going through each course to have a firm understanding of these requirements. So the first is history. 2 years are required of a world or European history course and United States history course. Then we have English. Just like high school requirements, 4 years are required for A through Gs. For math, 3 years are required, but it is highly recommended that students take an additional year of math. An additional year is recommended because it keeps students at a competitive level when applying for colleges. Colleges want to see a student go above and beyond and take more than what is required. That same can be said for science. 2 years are required, but college admissions want to see an additional year. Another difference between high school requirements and A through G requirements is that A through Gs want to see students take both a foreign language and an art class, whereas high schools only required one of them. College admissions require 2 years of a foreign language, but again, they recommend taking an additional year. Because 3 years is recommended, it is highly encouraged students take a foreign language in their first or second year of high school, or in middle school, instead of taking it their first time their junior year. And again, colleges want to see an arts class along with the world language. Only 1 year is required for visual and performing arts. Lastly, a year of a college preparatory elective is required. This can be in visual and performing arts, history, social science, English, math, science, or language. This is an example course list from Anaheim High School. If your student goes to Anaheim, these are their options. We see the various courses, the required years for each, and the classes that will fulfill that requirement. Even if your student does not go to Anaheim, the course list for their school won't look entirely different. This slide is also from the Anaheim High School course list. It shows their visual and performing arts and their college preparatory elective options. And again, even if your student does not go to Anaheim, their course list for the visual and performing arts and the college preparatory elective won't be entirely different. There might be some differences, but for the most part, they're going to be similar. If you're wondering what classes at your high school will count for the A through Gs, you can do that with the search. If you type A through G course list, the first link should bring you to what is seen on the slide with the computer screen, or type the tiny URL provided at the bottom, tinyurl.com/uni course list. You can type in your high school and you will be able to see the course list and what counts for A through G. The resources provided here will cover A through G requirements, high school course list, and how UCs are responding to admission requirements during the COVID-19. And this is a reminder about our virtual office hours provided for students, Monday through Thursday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have extended hours from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the link will be the same as the workshop link, which is tinyurl.com/gearupathome. Invite your student to come to office hours for tutoring or advisement. Another reminder is about our future family workshops and events. Our most upcoming one will be Saturday, October 17th, and we'll be focusing on mental health. And we'll have these workshops for the remaining semester. These workshops will be in the same Zoom link, tinyurl.com/gearupathome. You can contact Gear Up with any questions Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have our Gear Up office number on the slides, which is 657-278-7783. We also have our email, gearup@fullerton.edu. You can contact us on either one with any questions or concerns. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at CSUF Gear Up to stay up to date on our future workshops and events. To conclude this workshop, we wanted to share a quote with you. Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today, just as our students are preparing for their future today. Thank you. This is the end.